Today I came across an AP article titled Twitter Broadens Its Campaign Against Hate and Abuse. Even though I was pretty confident I knew where it was going, I decided to give it a read anyway. So it starts off by using Milo Yiannopoulos and the alt-right as like justification examples for the new policies and continues with a self-serving, poorly executed expose of terms from safe searches and muted posts to sensitive content and hate speech. I really don't think I have to express how appalled I was at this entire article and Twitter's stance on the subject. I'm appalled that companies like Twitter, YouTube, and others have either caved to the pressures of social justice or are being ran by authoritarian, agenda driven megalomaniacs. What I really took away from the article was that if you disagree with the likes of social justice and their ilk, you're immediately labeled. In this case, as alt right, to which I suppose is a euphemism for Nazi, and you promote hate speech by simply disagreeing with the social justice themes. I will add that the article's author made a half-hearted attempt at balanced reporting by including the crackdown wasn't limited to the alt-right. No, Twitter's banned over 360,000 accounts that promoted terrorism and violent extremism. Now, I'm by no means an alt-righter, but I have to say that I think it's a bit of a stretch here to parallel the alt-right and terrorists. It just appears that some political positions and free speech in general are considered terrorism. It would also appear that it's not okay to state you're proud to be, well, let's say, an American, Canadian, European, or really any other nationality. Although I'd suspect you're probably free to say you're from the Middle East or some other left-labeled minority origin. You're not allowed to be proud of your heritage, culture, or even race, which I really find ironically comical during Black History Month here in the States. Since when does me stating that I'm proud to be an Italian by heritage, an American by birthright, constitute hate speech or indicate I'm somehow a racist? To further support Twitter's position, the article also mentions GoFundMe's removal of a campaign from the author Brittany Pettibone, citing she violated the terms of service, which includes rules against promoting hate, violence, harassment, discrimination, terrorism, or intolerance. All this for trying to get a podcast funded that discussed, as described in detail on our website, a podcast that is dedicated to helping you reconnect with the traditional values that once made Western civilization great, including, but not limited to, the glorification of the nuclear family, motherhood, masculinity, femininity, etiquette, traditional gender roles, and love of one's own culture, race, and country. I know nothing of Miss Pettibone other than what I learned from a brief web search and a cursory review of her website, but I see nothing racist. Why is she not allowed to peacefully express her views? There is a major difference between being proud of who you are and being an actual racist. I think anyone, whether I agree with them or not, should be free to express their views in a peaceful manner. Again, this is ironically announced and reported on during Black History Month, a time celebrating a very specific culture and race. According to current trends, you must adhere to the ethics of the self-empowered social justice movements where people are allowed to entrench themselves in their safe little spaces and never have to encounter differing opinions. Should you be anti-social justice, you are by default promoting harassment, violence, and apparently terrorism. The author is obviously biased, and in an existential moment of reverence over Twitter's announcement to the point his adulation, no matter if he even bothered to make an effort, cannot disguise it. The abject ineptitude of society's current position is evident in the words, sentences, and paragraphs of those in the media who, by the art of feigning and simulation, claim fair and balanced reporting. Like others in the mainstream media, the author fails to be objective when encountering opinions that are misaligned with his. He doesn't even interview Milo, for example. No. Instead, he gets in touch with an actual self-admitted racist for a half-hearted counter-argument. Really, this is beyond dishonest, and in my opinion, the author has no integrity, which is really ubiquitous in the social justice realm. Although I can't really fault the author directly, because he's merely a reflection, a byproduct of a self-serving society that needs to be entrenched in safe spaces and rubber coat the world so that nothing can interfere with their self-opinions or views. This article is a statement of where the world we live in now is headed. It is a picture as clear as pure water put on display in a glass box. Their message? Give us our safe spaces and don't disagree with us, otherwise we will label you, punish you, and use strong-armed jackboot tactics to force compliance. We will not tolerate intolerance, unless, of course, you have an opposing view, in which case we will not tolerate you. Far gone are the days of being proud of who you are, where you come from, and what you think. You must now be a part of a collective of socialists with a common goal, otherwise suffer the wrath and vengeance of not only the social justice warriors and their far left media, but from the companies who you buy products and services from. I used to be inclined to think that social justice movements were a fad with obscure ideas held by a limited number of people. I'm debating this as it's obvious they have had influence with politicians, companies, infiltrated the media, and have poisoned our youth. The social justice warriors are not teaching people how to deal with actual issues or accept other views. They are promoting the most deplorable form of intolerance by masking it with platitudes and self-gratifying ideology. I personally don't have an issue with any other race or culture. I don't even have any problem with the Black History Month, even if I am inclined to agree with Morgan Freeman on the subject. I don't care if people have opposing views, or even if someone holds contempt or hate for other people, as long as it doesn't become violent. I do, however, have an issue with limiting what people can say, think, or feel. I have a major issue when people like the Steve Shives of the world dictate what is okay to say. I'm infuriated by the hypocrisy of the social justice movements and their totalitarian behavior. Well, that's my quick observation on the subject. If you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to nudge the like button, and you can follow me on Twitter. Links to the AP article and the website of the author who got banned from GoFundMe will be in the description below, along with the usual suspects of YouTubers that I like and follow. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. Until next time,